Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Chasing the Finish podcast. I am your host, Mike Duffy, and as always, I am joined by Jake Ramsey and Ben Blakeman, and we are here to talk about a number of things, really. It's mainly going to be a parkrun episode, this one, because we, us three, finally got out on a parkrun after a long awaited time. I can't remember the last one where all three of us were there. I want to say it was maybe one of the, it might even have been Holbrooks, which was the back end of May. But yeah,
Arrow Valley.
Yeah,
it was actually in June. So thank you very much for that. As always, well, not as always, twice now we are live. So if you're watching, please do comment, get involved, and we'll read them out. If you've got any questions, pop them in, and we'll read them out as well. But as I said, I am joined by the best co-hosts in the business, Jake and Ben. I can't remember who we come to last week first, but let's come to you, Jake, first, as it's a bit of a different week for you, I think it's fair to say, in a mere 2 days. And to be honest, it's less than 2 days because today's almost over. But on Saturday, you're getting married. The nerves surely are kicked in now, right?
I wouldn't say nervous. I feel like I was. Like, I think I was more worried about the speech, and that's the big one for me. But I feel like I've gone over it that much. I should be okay. But no more. Look, I'll go over it and over and over it, and I'll still somehow mess it up. But other than that, I don't have any nerves yet. I think they'll start kicking in, like, tomorrow. Like, Blue and the two best men are coming over tomorrow for food and a drink and that. So I think then, be like, this time tomorrow, it's more or less done. Like, so, yeah.
Now, is your speech sorted, or is it going to be like, because Mike rewriting it? You rewrite
that was
the morning of the wedding?
No, I didn't rewrite it the morning of the wedding. Yeah. No, I did not. I was writing it out onto paper from my phone, and then I was like, sod this. Got the hotel to print it for me, didn't check. And then when I was reading it out for the first time in front of everyone, the paragraphs were mixed up. Don't know how. So I've said to Jake, though, Jake's well aware of the advice I've given him on that. And it sounds like he's done nothing but practice. So
yeah, I have. So
don't take his advice.
What do you mean?
When it comes to speeches, don't. Let's,
Yes. Well, the first one I was rather inebriated, let's just say. So, but no, when I say nerves, by the way, I'm not trying to get you in trouble or trying to catch you out. You are allowed to be nervous, but I totally get you. Like, up until really the morning of, maybe even the night before, I don't know if you sleep much, if you know you've got something big the next day, but certainly the day you wake up and it'll almost feel like a bit of an out-of-body experience, because that's what it felt like for me. It was almost like I knew I was there and everything was going on, but it was almost like the most vivid dream in the world. And blink and you'll miss it. So, but you would have heard all this a million times over. So, but yes.
I'm feeling very mellow, but I feel like, like you said, tomorrow night, maybe Saturday morning, I'll be like, okay. It's getting. I think it'll be when I'm stood up there waiting for Tan. So that'll be like looking at everyone, and I'll be smiling and thinking, no, Chase the finish is just. No, but I think that's when I'll be like, oh.
Have you got much to do now, like yourself?
Not really, because I haven't really done anything. So if Tanny's watching, which I think she is, she'll be just laughing because she's literally done everything, and I've barely done anything. Like, I got stressed today over something so small, and petty, and she just looked at me like, I've had this stress for the last 2 years. I'm like, but it's just like little things now, like loading the car and the van and taking everything up, making sure nothing's.
There you go, Jake.
There you go.
They are watching.
No pressure. But yeah, so and then just knowing what she needs me to do on the day.
All you got to do is turn up, mate. You can be as happy as Lara.
Was you involved much, Mike?
I was actually, yeah. Beck doesn't watch any of my stuff, so she'll not be watching.
You did it all.
I've been podcasting for 5 years, and I think she's watched like one episode that I forced her to. So, no, I think there's obviously the conception is when it comes to weddings that I don't want to say that this is correct, but basically the whole thing is the women the woman does a lot of it. No, that's
no, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And I wanted to be involved as much as I could. Don't get me wrong, Beck was involved more on a bigger scale on certain things like the flowers and that. I wouldn't have a clue. She was saying, "Oh well, I want these flowers here, then flower." I'm like, "Yeah, let's leave. You deal with the flowers." But I tried to be involved as much as I could. But yeah, it's just mad, and I don't want to stick a pin in something that hasn't happened yet. But it's mad that you have all this preparation, all this money goes onto this day, and it's over as in the blink of an eye. Yeah. And it's like, the next day we were sort of, not in a bad way, but we were sort of just eating breakfast at the venue, and we were like, well, we're married now. Like, what now? Because you've had that celebration that day and everything. So, but honestly, mate, it's going to be magical. I'm absolutely buzzing for Saturday. I'm sure Ben is as well. How are you doing, Ben?
Injured and itching to run.
Bit flustered.
No, I'm just missing running at the minute. I'm going through a bit of a don't know what to do myself. Really, yeah. I think thankfully we've got Saturday to look forward to, because I don't think otherwise I'd just be in the. Yeah, I just want to run. Have
you tried to do anything, or are you just giving yourself, I don't know, say 2 weeks? What?
Yeah, the plan was to give a couple of weeks. Obviously, my ankle's still killing me. A few bits here and there. I mean, just walking around, I'm getting pain on the bottom of my foot, which I've never had before. I don't know. It's
plantar fasciitis, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. So it's just overuse, isn't it? I think. Mm-hmm. So I've got a bit of that. It doesn't seem to, touch wood, hasn't seemed to bother me today. But yeah, just like when I'm bending down and stuff, I can just feel my ankle going. It's just like, yeah. So I just don't want to risk it. But it's that, isn't it? It's like I'm just itching, ready to go again. But yeah, just
well, you see a lot of runners. I if anyone follows my Instagram running page, you'll notice that I post a lot of memes, and the majority of memes are regarding runners that have been told they need to rest by doctors, yet they still go out and do a run. I had my first little experience of runner's knee on Wednesday, and yeah, that's no fun. So you can see why it's frustrating, because another thing as well, I'd be really intrigued actually, Ben, to see if this hinders you as much as it would someone like me. Probably not, but when you do go back, how much you feel like you've maybe lost fitness, because that's the biggie for me. I mean, there was a couple of weeks ago, I was working away in Devon, so I had like the whole week I didn't run until the parkrun on the Saturday then. So I'd gone a full week, and that first run back, it's just like, oh my God, it's like learning to bloody walk again.
All I've been doing is eating as well. That's been the problem. Because obviously off the back of the 100K, I had a week where I was told I was going to be like just wanting to eat everything and, try and take it easy. Didn't at all. That first week, last week, I had no hunger whatsoever. I was thirsty all the time, whatever. But it's been this week that I've just been like everything and anything. Do you know what I mean? Which obviously, along with not doing any exercise, I'm already feeling bloated straight away. So, yeah, this is why I just want to get back now. So just get back to routine, and yeah. And I've got my 25th parkrun coming up, so I want to get back and do that.
Wow. Yeah. That's your next one, isn't it? Because you're on 24 at the moment.
Yeah. So, yeah, just itching, man. Itching.
Anywhere in particular? In fact, you want to go back to your old home one, don't you?
I want to go Babs Mill, yeah.
Absolutely. Waffles after.
Hey.
Count me in.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Well, talking of parkrun, we did parkrun, as I mentioned at the top of the show. We did Perry Hall ParkRun in Perry Bar in Birmingham. Before we talk about how we got on individually, just from both of you, how did you find the course? Because one thing I've mentioned so many times on previous podcasts is out of all the different parkruns I'm trying to do at the moment, they've all got a common theme, and that is they're as little hills or as inclines as possible. And when I was looking at different parkruns, I mean, I needed a letter P to tick off for the alphabet as it was. But when I looked at it, I always look at on the 5K app that people can leave reviews of the parkrun. So I always look to see, is anyone going to mention any hills, or is it is it an up and down course? But by the sounds of it, before I got there, I thought, okay, this sounds pretty flat. Mike come on obviously last week, and he mentioned that Perry Hall was a decent parkrun. So Jake, when you turned up, what were your thoughts on the course? Were you happy with it? Were you any bits that you maybe thought, I'm not looking forward, I wouldn't want to do this again? Because it's 3 laps, so we all know what we think about 3 lappers, but the 3 laps are sort of almost different, they said, but it feels like the first and the third lap are almost identical, almost.
Yeah, once I struggled, I just weren't a fan. I wouldn't be rushing back, let's say. I think the first lap I went round, or the second lap, coming on to the second lap, and I was so confused of what lap I was on. And then obviously I looked at my watch to see where I was, and I was like, right, I'm on course and whatnot. I'd done it in like a good time, and then I slowed down because I felt like the underfoot condition with the pebbles and then like the random rocks. I was like, it's just an accident waiting to happen. And then coming on to like towards the end of the lap, my ankle went. I was like, and then I just kind of got to the end. I was like, I'm just going to run the last bit, get it done because I'm in agony. But other than that, I will not rush back. I'd rate that like a 3 out of 10 compared to. I've only done obviously like 6 or 7 courses, but I wouldn't be back to Perry Hall.
Yeah, maybe a lack of scenery, Ben, because we've done a few parkruns, reservoir, round a beautiful reservoir, and then you get that other nice view when it's that sort of stony part where you get the view of Birmingham and the canal and everything. Cannon Hill Park, again, beautiful lake in the middle of it, river going through it. So, we have done some nice parkruns, but in terms of scenery, it's basically just a field, isn't it?
Well, I think it was summed up when we pulled up, and there's pretty much like a duck swimming with a plastic bag on its head through some grotty pond. I don't think that was a good start. I think we looked at it and thought, but yeah, I think as Jake said, the underfoot, it was horrible. Definitely the start bit. As you come through, there's like a little hill going over. I was struggling to walk anyway, but yeah, it was. I can't imagine what it must have been like running on it. But yeah, not much to look at really. Another humid day as well. I don't think that helped. It was just it's one of them. I wasn't a fan. I enjoyed my walk. Seeing it from a different kind of perspective, and obviously following you boys for once. But didn't stand out to me. I'll be honest.
Rating out of 10. Jake's giving it a 3. Are you giving it any more, or?
What do you want to do here? Do you want to? Well, I mean, this could be something we do. We could have a leaderboard of parkruns. Do you know what I mean? God, I am struggling here. Overall or
overall?
If you look at it, obviously, I know you walked it, so you've seen it in a different light as obviously how you usually run it. But obviously,
I've seen the same course as you. I mean,
I get that.
Are you basing that off? Scenery or as a whole?
I'm basing on like the park itself, how I felt when I was on it, and then like how I felt when I was running it itself. Where like usually I went out before and I'd done a 5K and it took me longer than normal. I was like, I'll go to park run and get quicker. And I've done it like 30 seconds quicker, which usually I'd be like a bit upset, but I'm putting it down to not running as much. But I feel like if it was just like the same surface, like a bit of like, even if it like grass, I'm happy. Like I was running on grass because I didn't want to run on the gravel.
Yeah,
but
it's like almost 3 out and backs, isn't it? Really, is it 3 or 2? So I mean,
yeah,
there's
you go like up and then you go right.
There's an element of concentration to it. I don't want to go as low as a 4. What did you say? 3? I'd have to say a 5. I don't think it weren't that bad. I feel like there's worse out there. I don't know.
Well,
what do you think? I'd say a 4 or 5.
I think going forward, I think that is something we'll look to do, maybe more of a structured rating based on a few points. But yeah, I'll probably be a bit boring and go in the middle of you two and say a 4. I just think there wasn't much going on, and some people might think that's great. You know, they might get annoyed that there's other park users. Like the amount of times I've been to park run and some dog walkers got in the way, and that's not me having a go. They're as entitled as we are to use the park, but it is, on one hand, it's nice to not have anyone else there, but literally there was nothing scenic about it whatsoever.
I mean, you've got to add to the fact that you were also blocked out of the run director's selfie as well.
Yes,
by his head.
Great.
Fuming about that, he was.
I made sure I went on the Facebook after, because it was my 50th park run, and I was waiting for the run report to come through, and a lady commented on that post saying the run report's in your inbox, and they're like, "Oh, we'll post it shortly." That was 5 days ago, but yes, I don't know if it'll come up very well here, but there is the park run, so we are literally behind his head. So let me zoom in. You can see the top of Farmy's head there, just at the top of the gentleman's hair, and me, Ben, and Jake are right behind there. So
there. Just on it, I think.
Okay, you just on it.
You can see
you are actually, yeah. There you go.
You have to annoy him even more now.
in your blue hoodie.
I wasn't even looking the right way.
There you are, Ben.
There was a dog kicking off, I think, wasn't there?
Yeah, dog was barking.
Yeah.
After the rugby club wanted a shout out, and they said Aston Old Edge Rugby Club, and he was like, Women's Rugby Club, and yeah, that was quite funny. I think, yeah, I weren't too pleased at that. But yeah, not the best. I mean, Holbrooks was a bit like that as well. Really, it was. I mean, you know, it was just a bit of a random park. Like,
see, Jake enjoyed that one.
Yeah, but that's only because I got a PB. So,
see,
but if I'm rating it as a whole, if you end up rating it, just say if you go, we do this rating structure thing, and it's like park as itself, then like underfoot condition, and then as a run, I'd probably go like 5.
Well, I think what we'd have to do is we'd have to go back and give fair re-reviews. Yeah. You know what I mean? They give a proper.
Well, there we go. Next episode. Well, probably not, because we've got a guest on next week, but week after we'll put something together, and we'll sit down and put something together, definitely. But yeah, it was okay. I mean, one plus is we managed to get a parking space right next to the toilets. It's a rarity as well, finding a park room with toilets. And for someone that leaves at, I think I left Lincoln at 6 a.m. Pick these two up. So I always need the toilet when I get to park run, and I almost got caught short one week at Babs Mill, but luckily the petrol station around the corner had a toilet, so I wasn't that in dire straits in the end. But yeah, that was a bit of a plus. But yeah, other than that, it was a bit meh. But lovely people.
You got to see me get beaten at the finish line as well.
You did.
I was walking with this woman the whole way around. Literally, we get to it's almost the funnel, weren't it? And I think it was a friend's. Give her a bit of like a, yeah, come on. And she's just whipped past me. And I had her for it as well. Do you know what I mean? You can't be standing for that, can you? I mean, it's embarrassing.
The game's a game, though. Farmy said this to me.
Yeah, but then she had the cheek to say, I'll see you next week. I had to bite my tongue, I'll be honest.
Yeah, Farmy said to me, he says, yeah, but when it comes to the funnel, he says, do you ever think about overtaking someone? And I'm like, I know parkrun's not competitive or anything like that, but if I'm neck and neck at a funnel with someone, I'm wanting to get the best time possible and bump myself up. So, yeah. But I say that some old lady beat me, and I didn't bother go. I went for a sprint-ish finish, but she did me on the last corner. So, yeah, all fun. Because we had a guest on last week, we missed out a couple of segments. So there was no Strava segment show, and there was no news news segment from Ben. So we're going to dive into that pretty early doors. So Ben, what news from the running world do you have for us this week?
I've just got the 2 stories this week.
No problem.
Yeah, it seems a bit of a dry week, to be honest. So we've got a backyard ultra record set in Australia. I don't know if you've ever heard of a backyard ultra.
No.
Fascinating, and I would like to take one on myself, as expected. I don't actually have the title for the other news segment. That's actually annoying. I'll just have it as this. I was getting bored of running, then I found joggling.
Joggling,
yeah. So
okay.
That is the second story. So we'll start with the first. Backyard ultra set in Australia. Ultra runner Phil Gore breaks the record with an unbelievable 798 kilometre without stopping the clock run. At the Backyard Masters event, Australian ultra runner Phil Gore etched his name into the record books by running 119 laps of the 6.7 kilometre looped course. The Backyard Ultra, the format consists of challengers completing a 6.7 kilometre loop every hour on the hour until one remains. So basically, you can 6.7 kilometre. You can do it as fast as you want. You can kind of stretch it out, but as long as you're done within that hour,
yeah,
you've got your little rest in, bit of food, whatever. And then you're on the start line, ready to go for the next one. So it just keeps going and going and going. So he held out for 5 days, which obviously is a battle not only against time, but sleep, fatigue, and the breaking point that I think every runner gets to, that mental challenge. I was reading through his...
Imagine the heat as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're used to it though, aren't they? But
yeah,
I recently followed the woman who does all his nutrition and everything. I thought that would be quite interesting to look at because, I mean, his last lap was actually his quickest lap of the whole thing as well. And he's had absolutely no gut troubles or anything, which is obviously something I'm really interested at the minute and trying to, get on that side of things. But I just thought... and I've been looking anyway. I've seen them for a while. I know they do them in the UK. It's something I'd love to do. I think it's a interesting concept. I think that kind of mental boredom of doing the same 6K loop again and again and again.
Would be. I don't know if you're aware, but there is. I know of one. Someone I used to work with. He did one in Nottingham. At a home pier point. So I did a Nottingham 10K. It was a ATW event and it was round a lake. So home pier point is where they train for the what is it you used to do, Jake, at Reservoir? Rowing. They train for rowing now. No, I couldn't remember.
I thought you were about the other thing that he'd done at the Reservoir. That was it.
No, that court case is still ongoing, I think.
Yeah.
No, the rowing. They train for it there. The uni do it and all sorts. And he basically, it was you do as many laps as you can in a certain time period. So that sounds sort of similar. It wasn't quite 6 kilometers because I did how many laps was it I did for the 10K? I want to say it was 2 or 3 laps of it was a 10K, but it sounds very familiar. And there's definitely, events that are similar to that in the UK. And also as well, Ben, I'm sure you probably know this, Run Through have started trail events now.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something they'll look at doing in the not so distant future.
Possibly. But didn't you say they were starting doing relays as well?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's. I think they're trying to branch out to other things than just 5, 10s, and half marathons.
I can't even remember his name. What was his name? Something.
Beck saw the TikTok about that, and I said, "See, this is why you need to watch our podcast because we reacted to that news." She showed it. She was like, "Have you seen this?" I was like, "Have I seen it?" We did a whole segment on it.
Yeah, I don't miss any news, especially the good stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, the second story, I was getting bored of running, then I found joggling. Scott Jenkins and James, do you know what? I can't even pronounce it. McDermid? Yeah.
We'll let that slide. Yeah.
I see Jake's eyes burning. Are among the growing number of people who practice juggling, the art of juggling and jogging. The pair admit that they get funny looks and comments when they're out training in Edinburgh. Scott says, I know it's all in good jest, but I would love people to know that it's not showing off, but it's actually a very fun sport. That's what I thought as well. Then he dared to enter his first park run. He said he was nervous at the start, but soon after that went away, just seeing how supportive everyone was. Obviously, no one had an issue with it. I wonder if he put it on the parkrun tourism page. I don't think they would be happy about it.
No.
But Scott's also created a website to showcase juggling results from around the world. And he's found nearly 600 other jugglers from 26 countries across the globe. He also entered 5.5 marathons, 5.5 half marathons. Does that make sense? Five. Yeah. And his PB for that was 1 hour 22 minutes.
What?
Actually, sorry. That was his normal PB.
Yeah.
But his juggling PB was out 1 hour 27 minutes.
That's crazy.
So
that's going to be quicker than me jogging
run
without any balls.
It says, but you can't call it juggling. That's why it's not really jogging. Doing that pace is not jogging.
That takes some amount of skill, by the way, because I mean I've tried to juggle before and I'm hopeless. Doing that whilst you're maintaining a jogging pace is incredible, by the way. We'll put this out as a little snippet on social media in a couple of days, and maybe the guys that juggle will see it and they'll comment and they'll tell us all about it. But that's incredible, and he did it at parkrun as well.
Yeah.
Imagine being stuck behind him.
Could just about jog, never mind juggle.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I can juggle too. I can't juggle any more than that.
Juggle
getting beat at the finish line by a juggler. That is.
You just lose your head when you knock a ball away, so you have to go pick it up.
So I don't know. I mean, would you be happy? Would that bother you at parkrun?
Nah. Listen, people get stuck behind me. Well, very rarely do they get stuck behind me, but. Now, parkruns for all abilities and whatnot, even people that want to juggle when they're running. But I'd be quite intrigued to see it live in the flesh because I think that would be impressive. I
haven't seen you do it. Usually I look proper into these, but I didn't with this one. I don't know why. But no, I haven't seen it. I'd be interested to see it as well. But yeah.
Well, if there's any jugglers near Birmingham, do let us know and we'll come to a parkrun near you soon. And who knows, we might all might have to change this to a juggling podcast. But no, thank you very much for those little news bits, Ben. We missed it last week, as I say, it was a jam-packed show, so it's good to have that back. Just sort of going back to Perry Hall ParkRun. As you've mentioned, Ben, you walked, me, Jake, and Farmy ran it. Big shout out to Farmy, by the way. I think he has started listening to these. He tells me every time I see him. And he got
he's got the bug. He's got the bug.
Big time. Yeah, I'm delighted actually, because when it was when he come out for my birthday night out at the start of June, and he was telling me, he was like, "Oh, you're doing really well with your running and whatnot," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm enjoying it." And he says, "When I ran 5K, I think he said it took him like 45 minutes or something," and then he showed me a screenshot of like the treadmill or something, and I was like, "Oh, mate," I says, "we've got a lot of people at the moment that are coming to parkrun with us." And that's all it is. It's just word of mouth, speaking to people. When Josh joined us, our mate Josh, I think I collared him at Jake's home stag do because he was working that night in the pub. And I said, "Oh, we're doing parkrun next week. Come along." And that's all we're trying to do, is just get the word out to as many of our mates. And it'd be a dream one week to have double figures of us there, and like have all the lads in that picture with the parkrun sign. So that's all it was. It was just me mentioning it, him saying, "Yeah." I'll be honest, and Farmy will laugh when he hears this, I didn't think he'd turn up, but he turned up at Oakland's, and afterwards we're walking back to the car, and he said, "I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that." And then every week since, he's been there, no matter whether it was Stratford-upon-Avon, Perry Hall, Oakland's, and he's made the journey. So fair play to him. But he got his PB, parkrun PB, so well done to Farmy. I think he was in the late 20s time-wise, because his PB before was 30-something. So I think he broke that sub 30, which is really good going. But yes, Ben, you walked, Jake, me and you sort of ran. You picked up a bit of an injury though, Jake, didn't you?
Yeah, my ankle is absolutely shot.
Still now?
Yeah, I've had issues with my ankle for ages, but when I try and turn it, I feel like a little pain, a little shooting pain goes up my leg. But I don't know if it's just like a consistent injury I've had and just come back up again, or I've just done more damage to it, which is probably the case because I always seem to do that. So, but yeah, I've not really been out this week, time, and didn't want to do any more damage to it. And I also obviously won't be able to do parkrun Saturday, which is a shame. But I don't want to be in a doghouse before I've even got married. So
no, I advise against that. Yeah,
advise. But he's been winding you up about it, though.
Yeah, he has. He's been non-stop saying this. The time period between getting to Warwick to do a parkrun and then get a cure. I'll let you explain that to the other half and then see what happens.
Blue shouldn't have put it in my head. Plain Blue. Blue come on the last stream and said Warwick parkrun. And all I said was, don't have to be there till midday. Parkrun's at 9, and that is all I said. I'm not getting anyone in trouble.
If I ran it in the time Ben ran it, not Perry Hall, but his normal run, there's no reason why I couldn't. But I do like Bruin because it's literally on my doorstep. But I don't run it in Ben's time. I run it probably 20 minutes more. So, yeah. We'll give it a miss this week. Back on it next week.
Yeah, and yeah, probably not wise to run on a already knackered ankle, especially when you've got quite a busy day, which will be spent largely on your feet.
Yeah.
It's probably best that we don't injure you any further. I do not want to get you in trouble. So yeah, Tan, if you are watching, I blame Blue. Yeah, Ben, you said it earlier. You experienced the back of the pack because you actually park walked. You were originally going to come, take a few photos, few videos, and whatnot. But I think we were in your head, weren't we? We were sort of saying, look, you just walk it. So at least that way you ticked it off, and it's another parkrun under your belt, and you're a step closer to 25. How was it walking? Because even though some people would say that my pace, I might as well bloody walk. But how was the actual? I know obviously you're injured. I saw you at one stage where we passed each other, and you said that your ankle was, your feet were killing you.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of walking a park run, is it frustrating because you know on your day what you can do?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, I think in a way, thankfully, my ankle was hurting because it kind of distracted the whole, side of that. I just wasn't thinking about it at all. I was just in pain. So no, it was great. I've seen you from the other side of the park, and just to be honest, I was just there for you boys. Like, it's nice to see you like, just going for it. And even though obviously Jake came away with an injury, and you've said it wasn't your greatest run, I just tried to enjoy it for what it was, really. Bit of chit chat at the back, but nothing compared to what you tell me about. It was a bit lackluster, to be honest. I was expecting the most, and I got overtaken at the finish line. That was it. So,
well, I think because it was one of them courses. I've done one before where you pass each other going separate ways, and when you passed me on the other side and I was going this way, there was a gentleman. He's not going to listen to this, so I'll say it. There was a gentleman that was chewing the ear off the tail walker in a West Brom coat.
Yeah,
and I thought, if only Ben could listen to this, he could have got some absolute gold for tonight. But usually the back is where it's at. The back is where people are always, you hear some crazy things. But to be fair, it was pretty nondescript this week. I mean, it was my 50th. I was delighted. I mean, the anniversary of me signing up was 6 years ago the other day. So it's taken me 6 years. Is it 6 years? I think it is, yeah. It's taken me 6 years to do 50, but I suppose sort of last year, and maybe even the year before, maybe 2023 is really when I started doing parkrun sort of on a regular basis. So to hit that magic 50 now is just, I'm buzzing, and I'm really obsessed with parkrun at the moment. I know Jake's just talked about joking around not being able to make one on Saturday. I am squeezing one in, but I really am squeezing it in. I'm going to Warsaw. I don't actually know how to pronounce the second bit. Arboretum. I think that's what that's what they're called.
I'm jealous of this one as well. Another one.
Apparently they've changed the course.
Oh, have they?
Well, I read a few bits and I saw a few bits on TikTok. So you're right, it is a fast one. But then I'm sure something about changing the course has happened, or whether they've moved the finish line, I don't know. But yes, I'll let you in on a little secret. I was going to go to Samwell because it's only 20 minutes from my grandmother's where I'm staying on Friday evening. And I had a look at the reviews left at Samwell, and all of them said, "Oh, brilliant course, scenic, lovely people. The hill at the end catches you out." And as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Nope, not this one. Not when I've got to then be sociable at a wedding all day, and I've got to be on my feet, and it's going to be hot as it is. Like, if I'm having to battle a hill, I'm turning up at that wedding and I'm yawning my head off all day, and I do not want to do that." So Warsaw's only 15 minutes down the road, so I am going to go and do that. But the bug has hit me like a train. So I've got my red parkrun t-shirt, ordered that as soon as I got home. Ordered a parkrun mug as well, which says 50 on it. I think they tried to deliver that today, actually, but I wasn't in, so I wasn't.
You not got the shirt on hand?
No, it's next door. Everyone knows what it looks like. It's red. It's a red version of the 25 one with 50 on it. So yeah,
you're on a bit of a high at the moment, aren't you, Mike? You got your 50, and then you dropped an absolute banger on a Sunday, didn't you? What did you do? You might as well tell everyone if they don't know already.
Yeah. Well, basically, how this started was Beck was out on Saturday evening, and I dropped her into town, and she went to bottomless brunch with her mates. And then I picked her up later on in the evening, and took her mates and her to Mackey's, and one of her mates was pretty drunk, and that evening I got a follow on my Instagram running page, and it was Beck. And like I say, she no interest in football, so she's never really watched any of my football podcasts, and I bore the absolute head off her talking about running. So I'm not surprised she doesn't follow any of them. But she followed it, and I thought, okay, that's a bit weird. Maybe she's like stumbled across it and thought, oh, I don't follow it. And it turns out she was telling the other girls about my running, and we got talking about that. And obviously, I've got my half marathon coming up now. It's actually a month today. I didn't realise. And one of the girls says, "Oh well, how's it going? Like, how are you feeling about it?" And I was like, "I just want to finish and not die. Like, I genuinely do not have a time in mind. I'm just like, right, let's finish. That is that. Nothing else. Not, oh, if I finish in this, finish." And then Beck said, bearing in mind she'd had a few drinks, she was like, "Oh, you should probably try and get out on a 15K run soon." Because 10K, I've obviously done a few 10K events, but I've only done it when there's an event. I mean, we did it once when me and Ben did that canal run, was 8 miles, I think. But I will only do a 10K if it's an event and I get a medal at the end. So I think her reasoning was, well, you've tested yourself, you pushed yourself to 10, try 15, and it's only 3 miles. No, 4 miles, 4 and a bit miles off the half marathon. So I was like, yeah, I could do. Anyway, Sunday comes and Beck said to me, "Oh, I'm meeting a mate today. We're going out around midday, be a couple of hours." So I thought, right, I've got 2 options here. I either mope about and sit and watch YouTube when she's out, and I get the Sunday blues and think, oh, I work tomorrow and all this, or I can actually go out and do something and, you know, be productive. So when I first woke up, I went onto that website that I told you about a few weeks ago, On The Go Map it's called, and I thought, right, if I'm going to do a 15K, where have I got to run to? Because it's a long way. It's 9 miles, 9.32 miles. I thought, I've got to run like all the way out here, got to run back. So then I mapped out running from home to my local park run, do the park run, which is 3 laps, and then run home. And that was 10 something miles. So I thought, well, I can run that, and then when I hit the 15K, I can stop and walk back home. So I thought, right, I'll go out and do it. And I told you guys that I'd mapped it out. And then I told my family group chat, and I was like, oh, I'm about to do a run. I won't give too much away, but hopefully I'll screenshot and you'll see what's what. Because the last thing I wanted to do was like, right, I'm going to go do this 15K, go out there and not be on it and just be like even come back at like 5 or 6K, because you look a bit silly then. But yeah, I was out there, and I'd ran down the long road that takes me to parkrun anyway. I've done that before, because you can almost do like, I think they call it the Highcombe Triangle round by me. So I've done sort of part of that. But when I got to parkrun, I'd already done 5K, and then I thought, right, I'm in the park now, and I almost forgot that I was doing this long run because it felt like I was just doing a park run, albeit a little bit slower because I'd already done 5K at that point. It was the last 2 miles that absolutely did me. Like, it was very, very, very stop-start. I had all sorts of weather. I had the wind. I had torrential rain, which was nice to start with because it cooled me down. But then I was that soaked that it was uncomfortable when I was having to walk, because I was like literally not any part of me was dry. So the last 2 miles were a slog. I found myself looking at my watch a lot the last 2 miles and being like, right, well, am I at 8 miles because then I've only got a mile left, or am I over 8 miles because then I've got less than a mile left? And when I try not to look at my watch too much when I do any run, because in the week when I'm running, I know the route, so I know, right, if I get to here, I've done this much. Or if it's park run, I know, right, well, do 2 laps, 3 laps, or 1 lap, and I've done it, sort of thing. But yeah, I was clock watching a lot that last, and yeah, I got to the 9.33 mile mark, and I stopped and I walked back, and I was in so much pain. Like usually when I first started doing 10Ks, it was the next day that you felt the like aching. Like my hips used to ache really bad when I first started doing 10Ks. I used to book the Monday off because they were all on Sunday. But my body's used to them now, so I don't feel too bad. But walking back, because I still had about a mile to walk back home, and I was like, I genuinely don't. I might have to ring Beck and say, "Can you come and pick me up?" Because I was hurting. And then later that day, I didn't feel great, to be honest. I was aching a lot and everything else. And then I went for a run on yesterday. Yeah, I went for a run yesterday, and my knees, like my kneecaps. I don't know if that is runner's knee. I know, Ben, you've had runner's knee, so I don't know if it's in your kneecaps. But as soon as I started running, I could just tell that my knees were just still hadn't recovered from it. So yeah, longest run I've ever done. The time, I think it was 2:21. So add another 4 miles. Granted, it's not going to be my normal 4-mile pace, but I sort of said to Ben, even though I've just said I've not got a time in mind, I sort of said if I was pushed for one, I would say 3.5 to 3:45 for the half marathon. But if I'm churning out 2:21 on a random Sunday doing a 15K, then maybe that is reasonable. But yeah, it's
and you've still got time. You've still got a month to go. So.
Yeah. I do want to try. I'm trying to get out as much as I can in the week now. I slacked for a couple of weeks where I was doing 3 runs a week, and then I was just doing parkrun, and then waiting and doing parkrun again. So I had a training plan. AI sorted that out for me, and it detailed it down to the very last, detail. But because I've been working away in that time, it sort of really scuppered the plan. So it's not gone to plan. It never usually does with me. I have all these great ideas and all these events booked, and these training plans, but it never quite comes off. So yeah, this next month I'm trying to do 3 per week. So I won't have been able to do 3 this week unless I do one on Sunday. But we'll see how I feel. So yeah, it was eye-opening, definitely. So yes,
well done. I think we saw it. I wasn't expecting it. I don't know about you, Jake. It was nice to see pop up on my Strava, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise, wasn't it?
It was class. I was so proud of you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not an easy distance at all for anyone. Do you know what I mean? But no, absolutely class, mate. Well done. I think you should be very proud of it. But don't let that be, the ceiling.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a lot of it as well, I was worried mentally, obviously I had that wobble in June. And I was thought, right, when I was struggling that last 2 miles, I thought, I think this is one thing that people don't realise that are getting into running. And it's so important to mention time and time again that, yes, physical is a big part of running, but mental sort of side of it is huge. Because that last 2 miles, if I was stop, start, my head could have just gone, leave it. And then I wouldn't have done 15K. And then I wouldn't have thought, right, but I've actually come away from it and I'm thinking, you know what? Even though I was aching and it was tough, that wasn't half as bad as I expected. Now, I have to understand that the route I took was fairly flat and the Solihull Half Marathon isn't, as I've since found out. But yeah, I feel in a good place after that. So that's the main thing. But yeah, it's something even though I planned to do it on the Sunday, to actually complete it was another sort of big milestone for me. So I very rarely am proud of myself, but I was that Sunday. So yeah, maybe another couple of, I could probably do with squeezing another big one in, pardon the expression. But we'll see what happens between now and next month. But that brings me on nicely, actually, because every week when we say we're recording, I always ask for questions from people, and we have had quite an influx of questions this week. So thank you so much if you are one of these that I'm about to read out and you've sent questions in. This is one part. As I say, I've been podcasting for a long time, and having people that are actually interested enough to ask questions, it makes it feel worthwhile. So thank you very much for your questions. The first one's for you, Jake, from no other than Ben's better half, Briar. She said, other than Napton and Solihull, and I think, by the way, that's her saying you are doing Solihull. Aside from this question, do the Solihull. It's parkrun distance, and you get a bit of bling. Your first bit of bling. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Have you got any other events lined up? Brian wants to know.
Not events, but we are due to go to Paris in August, doing Disney before Blue's wedding, and with me and the other half are looking to map out a bit of like 3-4K around the hotel because it's quite big. So we're going to do that. It's obviously not a venue, don't get nothing. And then I will be looking around December time. I know there's a few around Birmingham and maybe the Black Country, so I'll try and get another one in. I think I'm hoping once I've done one, get the bug. So, and I'd like to do Wolverhampton when that's next knocking about if I'm obviously not away. But obviously Napton's a definite. I feel like I can't really get away with getting off that one now. Try and get a few people on that one as well. That'll be good.
If you can do Napton, you can do any 10K.
It's true though, isn't it? You get that first 10K. Jake, you've done one. Do you know what I mean? There's no excuse. You can do another one.
Yeah,
and that's why it says Napton's the pinnacle of sports entertainment. So,
but I'm hoping once the wedding's done and once we're back from France, then obviously you got the honeymoon in Jan. So then I'm on overtime to get as much timber off and do as many as I can. And I'll be doing one on the cruise, even if it's like loads of circles. So, but yeah. Other than the ones that I definitely pinpointed, which is that Solihull, Napton, and maybe the Stratford one on the Friday, because I think that'd be quite nice.
Yeah, I really liked that one. You did a good job finding that. What was it? You were saying there was one in Disney, wasn't you? Or are you just missing that?
So they do run. I think it's Run Disney, and they do a 5K, a 10K, and then they do the half marathon, and it's through the parks, which would have been class. But it's like. I think it's at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, which would have been mint because we're up anyway. So, but the ones in Walt Disney World are in like April and like I think it's July, and we don't go around them times. But they do one in Disneyland Paris, which is in November. Which it's not far, is it? So that could be always. You could easily just go, and it wouldn't take me much to persuade Tan to go to Disney. So.
Well, I know you're quite a fan of theme parks in general. That's the vibe I get. So run through, do a Alton Towers 10K. So you run through the park, and then your entry also covers you to go into Alton Towers afterwards. I believe they do one at Drayton Manor as well. Yeah. So maybe one of them, and also as well, I think. In one of the future episodes, we definitely need to get you to book it live on air because that would be great entertainment value. Just so that we know it's in the diary. But honestly, I'm buzzing for your first one, and obviously, me and Ben will be there for your first event. We couldn't not be. But as you've said, once you've done that first one, you'll get the bug, and you'll soon realise how much money goes into all these events. My mum didn't know, bless her. When she was asking for birthday present ideas, I asked for a voucher for run through. And she said, you have to pay for your running. I was like, yeah. So, yeah, it adds up, but the bling is worth it. Definitely worth it. Ben, we'll come to you on the next one. We've had a question from Owen, and he's asked, how do you balance running with the rest of your life? So I think this is important for you because you've got a family, you've got kids. So how do you balance your work life, family, and social time? especially as well because you were doing that. I know you're not anymore, but you were doing the run streak. So how do you find the middle ground?
Yeah, well, it's not easy at all. You know, as I think I've said on here multiple times, you know, there's times where I've gone out for runs at like 10 o'clock at night. And yeah, I have not enjoyed it, but it's just, I don't know, it's just that mental, you know, you kind of build up that tolerance and almost, what's the word? It's discipline, isn't it? You know, it doesn't even become a thought anymore. It's just, you know, we've got to do this, got a job to be done. Let's go out and run. But no, I think a lot of my credit goes to obviously my partner Briar, and you know, she's almost embraced this hobby that we do, and kind of took it on. I mean, you know, I'm blessed that anything I'm interested in, she jumps on and tries to get involved, and you know, loves listening to it. And I could speak for hours, and she would just sit there and listen to it. So. I don't think it was that much of a struggle on that side of things, because I say she's just, you know, embraced it, as I say. So I'm lucky, really. I know obviously it's not the same situation for everyone else. All I can say is just, you know, even if you have to plan out your week and, you know, you say you can't get in as many runs as you want to, just make sure you're making them little bits of time where you can get something in, whether it's, you know, you can get one in on your lunch break, you know, just squeezing it in whenever you can. But no, it's not easy at all. But God, I wish I had some sort of amazing words of wisdom to be like, you know, how to mentally get you to do it. And, you know, I don't think I do like to think that, you know, me doing that streak and everything, I was trying to also spur you two on, and a lot of the other lads, you know, because I know what it's like when, you know, and Jake said it before, when you're scrolling through Strava and you see one of your friends has just done, you know, shout out to Ben Stevens, he's been absolutely smashing it recently. He's been doing like 10 to 15, 16K or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And even me not running, I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know, just like brilliant. I love it, because it's just, it really fills me knowing that, you know, just we're all sort of encouraging each other and just seeing each other just flourish and, you know, getting fitter and also socially just being together and enjoying it. It's such a great hobby that it's become. And yeah, as I say, it's not easy, but, you know, I think having good people around you and, you know, definitely helps. So, yeah.
Well, I think you could definitely tell that we're getting older and we're in our 30s now, because, you know, the social aspect of it, it used to be, right, get down the pub early doors, have an all-day sesh, carry on into the night. But now it's like, right, well, we'll go for a run in the morning, maybe get some brecco afterwards, and then we'll go for a beer later on. And it's like, that is what life is now. And you always used to see them memes, are you really 30 if you haven't done a half marathon or a 10K? And it's so true. But having that support at home as well will definitely help. Interesting you say that Briar is interested in everything. So I know that sometimes she does watch this. So Briar, if you're watching this, maybe pass a few tips on to Beck on Saturday, please, because yeah, I'd love her to at least acknowledge it. But yes, thank you, Owen, for that question. Next question is from a listener in the USA, from Chad. He doesn't give his surname, but Jake, we'll come to you. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen? I think we've maybe discussed this already, but for the sake of Chad, we'll read it out. The weirdest thing you've seen or experienced whilst out on a run?
I'm on the spot now.
I don't know if you. I just, all I get is people shouting out cars all the time. Go run, Forrest, run.
It's little things when people are driving past and you jump and you're just trying to enjoy yourself. Like, I'm struggling as it is, and you making me jump does not make it any easier. See, just like, you know, like the route I do for my 5K, I run through like houses and then not like literally through houses, but down like the street to the park. But then seeing people come out the thing and they're watering the plants and you know when you don't notice stuff and you see people like fall over. I find it so funny watching people fall over, especially when they're older. I know that sounds horrible.
You're sick.
There's a bloke watering his plants. You know when they do stuff and they look and then they're not watching what they're doing, and they buckle and they like look around thinking no one's watching. I've caught it and I'm there sniggering and I'm like my shoulders are going trying to run. But there's little things, and they're like obviously I'll run through a park. There's dogs everywhere, so dogs, and those.
Well, you see all sorts out on a run. It's interesting. I ran into 2 dogs before and fell over, and like need this. I think it was an Alsatian. It went flying. I about need it in the side of the head. So I was running. What I used to do was before I got the normal 5K route that I do, I was getting bored of it. So there's a nature park like 5 minutes down the road from where I live. So I used to drive there after work and park up and then do a couple of laps because it's 2 big lakes. Now, I had a bit of a sort of issue with it because on certain bits of the park, it's all like stone and gravel and whatnot, but there are signs dotted around saying, please keep dogs on a lead. And then there's other parts where the dogs can come off. Now, this part was on a part where it says, please keep dogs on a lead. So this woman had obviously spotted someone that she knew. Don't know how she knew him. They both had dogs. She was coming from this way and the other one was coming. So they were passing each other. They thought, I know, we'll stop and chat when I'm running, heading straight for them. I can see it all. The 2 dogs are there sniffing each other. So I think, right, well, I'll obviously move. You know, you can see that I'm coming, not moving, not a problem. I'll move out the way. Unfortunately for me, one of the dogs thought, oh, there's a runner there. I'm going to go and greet him. So I didn't know that he was going to do that. So I moved out the way and my knee buffed into the side of this dog. The dog went flying. I fell over. I was too embarrassed to stop and check everyone was all right. I got up and just ran off. And I was like, I really hope she's not gone for another lap around the park with the dog, because if she sees me, she's going to be like, are you okay? Or she's going to be like, I was chatting to you and you didn't speak to me. What the hell's going on? So that was really embarrassing. But that beeping and all sorts, I didn't realise this. So I filmed a little vlog of my run on Sunday and I had my AirPods in and it was when it was hammering it down. And I filmed myself in the torrential rain and I watched it back when I was clipping it all together and a car went past and bibbed his horn about 7 times. So I don't know if I know him, like watching on the off chance and it was you.
Was when that one with the dog?
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was I've had some quite embarrassing moments. I'm waiting for the day that these shorts give up on me and split because it's going to happen. They are tight. They really are tight.
You know what it'll be? Hurdles.
Yeah. Hurdles. Them hurdles though. But yeah, there you go. Thank you for that question, Chad. The next question is from Harry. He says, how do you find balance between pushing your limits and listening to your body? Now, Ben, I'm trying not to flip-flap between you and Jake, but I think that question's probably best directed to you because you have obviously just finished doing the 104-kilometre ultra marathon. So there must have been times where you thought, right, I could do with pushing my limits a bit here, but also listening to your body. So again, how do you find that middle ground?
Oh, I think every run is different. I wouldn't say it's very rare that if I'm running like through the week that I will push to my limits. And even if I do, it's done structured. Whether I'm doing a more like progressive run. So obviously I start slow, get quicker, and then by the last like kilometre I'm almost full pelt. yeah, as I say, it's every event's different. So you mentioned the ultra. I mean, yeah, there was times where my body's hurting, but I know there was very runnable sections. I said, right, Ben, you should be running this. Like, pick it up. Or everything goes back to being like everything goes.
I didn't know you saw that.
I caught that. Yeah. Everything goes back to the mental side of it. It's just we've said it so much that I don't know how much more I can explain how important it is. But yeah, I think anytime you're pushing your limit, it starts up here. So I don't know, man. Yeah. Yeah, you just obviously, as I say this to Jake all the time, just you got to look after your body, listen to it. It's important. But yeah, but in a race scenario or any sort of longer run, I say just go for it, push it.
Do you push yourself at ParkRun thinking I can finish first there?
Yeah. There's times where it's like if it starts well, I'm like, this is yours if you want it. Do you know what I mean? That sort of mentality comes in, like, keep going at this pace or push a little bit more. Yeah, I say all the time. I'm at the end and I'm like, struggling to breathe or whatever. Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like Beacon, put that guy.
Yeah,
he was eating that dirt for weeks. I think he was miles behind. I'm not even joking, Jake. Yeah. I wish you were there for that one. My God, I thought either Ben's not done the right lap here or this guy's miles behind. Turns out it was the latter. So yeah, no, thank you very much for your question there, Harry. We've had one from one of our listeners over in Sweden. So this one comes in from Anders from Kalmar in Sweden. I think that's coastal. I had to check whereabouts in Sweden it was. And weirdly enough, again, try not to link the two here, but Watford signed a player from Kalmar Football Club. So, yeah, we'll chat about that maybe separately, Anders, if you drop us another message. He asked me a question, actually. He said, what are your biggest fears or concerns going into your first half marathon? And I think I sort of touched upon it earlier, really. My biggest fear, and I genuinely mean this, is something really bad happening to me. So obviously I've done 10Ks and I've felt horrendous during them before. But my two big ones are, firstly, the mental battle getting the best of me. And just absolutely defeating me. Because I do not want to DNF on a half marathon, especially my first one. And I know it's probably not ideal choosing the Solihull one as my first one, but it sounds like if I can finish that one, then I've got a good shot of finishing other ones. Because I've also been told as well that once you do your first half marathon, that's the sort of distance that you tend to go for. So when I first started doing 5Ks, I would feel how I feel now about a 10K. But now I've done loads of 10Ks, I'm like, okay, it's sound. Might be nervous on the day, but I want to get to a stage where I feel comfortable booking a half marathon and it not be a big deal. So the mental side of it is a big one because I just can't afford a wobble again, but I can't control that. How I feel is how I feel. But I'm going to obviously go into it as positive as I can and everything, and just really try and emphasise in my mind, finish this. Doesn't matter about your time, just finish. Then October, I can aim for more of a time when I do the Lincoln one. And then my other fear is just genuinely not physically being able to finish it. Like, I know I did that run on Sunday, but what if that last 4 miles, I physically cannot do it? And I know people will say, well, just walk the last bit, but what if I really struggled to walk home after that 9-miler on Sunday? I am scared stiff of something happening. You know, I struggle a lot with, and I think a lot of this, I Googled it once and checked on the NHS website. A lot of this is to do with a lack of hydration, which I'm terrible for. But I struggle quite a bit with heart palpitation, lad, as well. So and I think it scares Beck to death that I worry that something might happen, and is it going to push me too far? You hear about all these stories where fit as a fiddle blokes and women complete these half marathons, ultra marathons, and their body just, even though they're as fit as a fiddle, it's too much on their body, and their body packs in, and they're not the same again. So that worries there at the back of my head as well. But that one's a little bit on me. I've had plenty of time to diet for it, lose a bit more weight, and get fitter. But yeah, they're my two big fears: is the mental battle that it will produce, and then physically how it will be on my body. I am actually thinking. I think I am going to do it. I think I'm going to book the Monday off as well. But I need to sit down and actually sort a bit of a hydration plan out. I don't usually do those gels, but I think I probably need to do something for my half marathon, because it'll just be a massive shock to the system otherwise. So yeah, that's that. And then the last question is from our friend Alex Thomas. He put this one in yesterday, which I it can go to both of you actually. Jake, will come to you first. What's the fastest animal you could beat in a race? And he's put in brackets, no snails or turtles.
Sloth.
Ooh, okay.
Now, if I'm being realistic, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to stick with sloth.
Hogs are pretty quick, aren't they? Like pigs.
Yeah. Sloth or koala. Like, if a koala bear's running, like, it's going to fall.
You ain't being serious there.
What do you mean? I'm not being like...
I think you could beat a koala. Can koalas even run?
Yeah, but I think I know for a fact I feel like I'm burning a sloth and a koala. I feel like a cow, nah. Hippos are rapid.
Yeah.
Also, as well, he's not specified over what distance. So, is it a battle of endurance?
100 meter. Let's just
100 meters. Giraffe, maybe?
No, giraffe's quick.
I don't know.
Maybe an orangutan.
No.
Long gangly arms.
You're going for like animals that are hanging around a lot, man. You got to.
Oh, yeah, there's logic to this madness, Ben.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it. Nah, I feel like you've got a bit in you.
Let's nail you down. Nail you down to one answer.
One, and it's going to be kind of legit that I think could burn.
Yes.
Yeah, genuinely.
Rabbit.
Nah.
Rabbit. Oh yeah. The same. I know it's mechanical, but in fact, no. Don't worry about it.
No,
I was going to say something dead stupid there. No, well, I was just going to say the same rabbit that they use to come out the traps at the Graham racing, which is a mechanical one, isn't it? No, but rabbits are known for being quick.
Skunk, beaver,
a beaver,
hedgehog.
Yeah,
hedgehog.
I feel like a fox, but I feel like they're quick.
Nah, foxes are quick now. You're going through Noah's Ark here, passing me one by one. Do you want to pick one or? I've got a bit of a rogue one, but I'll let Ben answer.
I'm going to go penguin. Yeah, go penguin.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. Well, all he's going to do is...
Yeah, it's got to be on clay, though. It can't be on ice, because then...
Yeah, but Jake has to run like that as well.
No, Jake's...
I'm probably quick at running like that, too.
What about you, Ben?
I don't know. It just made me think of that. Ben
Alex
Stevens.
is watching, actually.
Ben Stevens.
Nah, alligators are quick.
I know what you're going to say about Stevens.
Yeah, because the man versus horse. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I could beat a horse. It just made me think of that. I might try that event. I'll try. If he'll do it, I'll do it. God, I don't know. It is hard, isn't it? Because you're going off. I don't know how quick some animals are. At all.
You should be able to burn a cow.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll go with cow then. Bit of beef.
You get to eat him at the end.
In fact, the vegans are already after me, Mark.
Yeah, well, that's true. I'm just Googling how fast can a penguin run? 100 meters.
We'll get in touch with Twycross and we'll take Jake up there.
Well, here we go. Google has the answer. That'd be a great vlog, by the way. Penguins aren't built for speed on land. They are much faster in water. While they can't compete with human sprinters, some species, like Gentoo penguins, can reach speeds of up to 22 miles per hour while swimming. So I think you've got running, walking. It says penguins primarily walk or waddle on land using their short legs and streamlined bodies for efficient movement. Some species like Gentoo penguins, these are all the rage, these Gentoos, can move faster than others, according to the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium. So there you go. We've got penguininternational.org. We have penguin record breakers. This is brilliant. I'm just finding this. So it's got like longest time spent underwater. We don't care about that. Give us your fastest running on land. I don't think it's gonna, is it? No one's making penguins race. Something about animal cruelty will probably bring that in. But yeah, penguin, okay. And what did you go for, Ben? A cow?
Cow.
I reckon, and I'm being serious here because he's not built for speed, but neither am I. I reckon over 100 meters, I could do a bear.
Oof.
Bears aren't quick. Bear ain't quick runners.
When they're
strong.
Downhill. If it's downhill, you'll be laughing because they're just
What 100 meters is downhill?
The same. Bears can't run downhill. So if you just take it like that, I don't think I'd be able to run downhill. I'd go down like the bear.
Me, a bear, and Rod Stewart.
I reckon you've got Rod Stewart, man. I tell you.
Yeah, Alex, I didn't realise, aside from his day job as an electrician, he's also a penguin enthusiast, by the looks of it. He says emperor penguins average 6 to 9 kilometres an hour.
I think I can run about 18 kilometres an hour.
That's mad.
No.
That's quicker than me. That's about...
Well, no, probably about 15, actually. I can run about 15.
That's mad. I did not want to read that, Alex. Thank you. No, this is kilometres. So it's saying it can average anywhere between 6 and 9 kilometres in an hour. It takes me 40 to 45 on a bad day to do 5 kilometres. So I'm probably as quick as an emperor penguin.
Now I've gone down a right rabbit hole. A house mouse is a top speed of 8.1 miles per hour.
Oh, what does?
And house mouse. A pig? I reckon I'd burn a pig. No, I don't think I do. Actually.
They're quick, man.
No, I don't think I do. I'll just lie it again.
They race pigs, don't they?
I think you missed a trick not doing a bear there. If you stuck me in an octagon with him, it'd batter me. But bears, I just think they're built for strength, aren't they? They're not built for speed.
Reckon you'd burn a squirrel?
No way. You've seen them guys move.
Yeah, but they get sidetracked.
Nah.
All I say is don't Google how fast the bear is.
Go on.
56 kilometres an hour.
Brown bear top speed is 21 miles per hour.
100 metres. Stick me on that track. I've got my Brooks Glycerines on. What's he got on?
Yeah,
Nada.
That's true.
Nada.
We're still with Jake. Do not buy a pair of running trainers until me and Mike are there.
Yes.
I'm telling you, we've got to be there. And it's got to be before the Solihull 5K.
Oh.
You got the money
for it?
Yeah, probably will.
We'll take you to the Birmingham Runner on Stratford Road, just up from...
I'll definitely need them before Napton. Tell you that for
free. I won't let you run. Napton won't let you run until you got running shoes. Telling you, man.
You don't run Napton. Napton runs you.
That is true.
But no, definitely. And you need time to break them in as well. In fact, it's October. We've got 3 months with sound.
Yeah.
But yes, we'll definitely get to Birmingham Runner on the Stratford Road in Shirley. I think this would be a good point to finish on the Strava segment show because we missed out on it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Jake won the first ever Room 101. Our guest Mike crowned him the winner with people that run with buggies and prams at ParkRun. After Ben put forward a good case for vegan runners, and then I said about people criticising people running with running vests for short distances. But Jake was the eventual winner. However, in the Strava segment show, is it 2-0 to me now?
It is.
It is 2-0. Yes.
So, Ben, take it away and let's go, Jake.
Okay. Right. You all know the format. We should do by now. We have 2 real segments and 1 fake one. I shall read them out, and I want you to guess which one is fake. So, the first one, A is iron taint. Okay. Second one is be quick or be roadkill. And the third one is gravel. I thought you said travel. Okay. So, iron taint, be quick or be roadkill, or gravel. I thought you said travel. Okay. Michael, go. Hit me.
Aye. A is the fake one.
Iron taint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You seem very sure by that one.
I'll give my reasoning after the answer's been revealed.
Okay, Jacob, let's go.
I'll go B.
You think be quick or be roadkill is fake? Okay, right. The fake one is gravel. I thought you said travel.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Fair
Got
play.
you both this week. Got you both. Right. So 0-0. Okay. All to play for still. Okay. The second one. A is reach around.
Is that an answer or?
Thanks. The second one is I smell gypsy. Okay.
This is Stratford upon Avon, I think. Ah.
And the third one is the slaying of Stevie Wonder. Okay, so we got reach around, I smell gypsy, and the slaying of Stevie Wonder. Whatever that means. Jake, I'll give you a second. Go on.
I'm gonna go A.
You think I reach around is the fake one?
Yeah.
Okay, Michael.
I don't know how they'd fit in a reference to Stevie Wonder, so I'm going to go with C. Unless it's in his hometown.
You think C is the fake one?
Yeah.
Okay. The correct answer is reach around. Well done, Jake. Well done.
Well,
he's coming for you. You need this. You need this. This for a draw. You ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Altar boys are always bad. Okay. Altar boys are always bad.
That segment's at the Vatican, I think.
The second one is squeeze your cheeks. Okay. And the third one is sticky iPhone. So you've got altar boys are always bad, squeeze your cheeks, and sticky iPhone. Whose goes it? Jake? Jake, you?
Yeah, it's Jake.
I'm gonna go B.
Squeeze your cheeks.
Squeeze your cheeks.
Okay. Michael, go on.
I'm going A. I don't know how I said this in the last one, but I don't know how you fit that into a segment. Unless it's near a Catholic church.
Come on.
Jake, congratulations, mate. You've got you got both of them. Well done, mate. Michael, 0. What's going on?
Off week, man.
Is that 15?
He let me win, didn't he? Because he let me win because I get married Saturdays.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I can't be having him turn up on Saturday annoyed.
Well done.
Well done, boys. Well done. So yeah, we'll go into that. So it's 2-1. So you, Mike, still got the lead, but he's put a strong show in there. And,
you did well, Jake. You did well. Worthy winner.
Step it up for next week or the week after, whenever we do it next. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it'll be the return of Room 101 next week with our special guest Cam. So we'll have to get our thinking hats on, but yeah, we can celebrate Jake's win on Saturday, I'm sure. I was gonna end it right, but I don't know how to. Is there something else you wanted to talk about, Jake? Because I am flabbergasted. I'm not sure. Or do you not want to?
I feel like it's too good to be given away. Let's keep it to the three of us.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
The three of us and Aidan. What?
Well, the listeners can just the listeners can
let their minds run away with it.
Yeah, that can be. Yeah, Saturday's going to be interesting. Let's just say that. But no, I've just seen your message actually. Thanks for reminding me. I'd have forgot 2 weeks on the trot. I asked Mike last week for a song for the playlist, and I was meant to ask Jake as well, because I think going forward we'll ask the guest and one of these boys.
Yeah, because we want this filled up, don't we? The playlist, so we can actually use it.
Because at the moment,
got about a 5-minute run.
Yeah, I have got the playlist on here, and at the moment we have got 15 minutes worth of songs. We have 4 songs. We've got One Step Beyond by Madness, Moving Too Fast by Artful Dodger and Ramina Johnson, All of the Lights by Kanye West, and Burning Heart by Survivor. Jake, what is accompanying those 4 songs in this week's song choice?
I'm going to take you back to the 70s and go Waterloo by ABBA.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that shout. I love that shout. I hope there's a bit of ABBA on Saturday.
Oh, there's got to be.
The dad moves will be out in force if there is.
If I don't see two-step Ben, I'll be disappointed. Call it off.
Well, stay tuned to the Chasing the Finish Instagram, because you will be seeing these moves.
We love to see it. But yeah, brilliant choice. If you guys, you can search it. It's called the CTF Running Playlist. Alternatively, drop us a message and I'll send the link over. And then just very quickly to finish on, if you don't already, thank you for watching tonight, by the way, guys. If you don't already, please do like our Facebook page, subscribe to this video, because I have a look at the analytics. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to the stats and whatnot. And it actually turns out that people who view our videos that are non-subscribed, they watch our videos more than people that are subscribed. So yes, please do please do make sure you hit the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram as well and on TikTok. But yes, other than that, keep chasing that finish, and we'll see you on the other side. Good evening. Good evening. Goodbye. Good night. What an ending. See you later, guys. I'm gonna click end stream. Keep on trucking, lads. Yeah, see you later. That has killed Ben.